Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, coming to you 6 days a week as we interview whitetail experts and hear their traditions and personal stories of the hunt. Learn more about the latest gear, discover proven tips, and the latest strategies so you can make your next hunt a success. Now, here's your host, Bruce Hutchin.
This is Whitetail Rendezvous Podcast, episode number 276. Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous. This is your host, and this is part one of a two-part show with Alex Rutledge and Ben Moore. Alex recently founded American Roots Outdoors, and Alex has had a long history in the outdoor industry, and he's an inductee, the Legends of the Outdoor National Hall of Fame. He's going to talk about our hunting heritage, our families, the Constitution, and faith. He wraps this all up into his different segments of his show. So it's going to be very interesting. And he and Ben are going to talk about hunting whitetails. So you're not going to want to miss the show. It's in two parts. So sit back and enjoy. Hey, listeners, don't forget to text 33444 Food Plot for your free Food Plot ebook. Welcome to another special episode of Whitetail Rendezvous. This is your host. And why is it special? Because I've got Alex Rutledge on the show today. And Alex has previously been with Hunter Specialties. He had a TV show called Bloodline TV. But today he's going to announce to all my listeners across North America something new he's got going. American Roots Outdoor TV. And one thing you need to know about Alex, he's an inductee to the Legends of the Outdoors National Hall of Fame. Alex, welcome to the show.
Well, Bruce, it's an honor to be on the show with you, and thank you for what you do for the hunters across America in Whitetail Rendezvous. And I'm honored to be on your show, and I'm excited about the new project that my wife and I and our team has created. It's called American Roots Outdoors TV. And what our whole focus is to promote heritage, family, and the cultures of each team member and the people we hunt with, and our constitutional rights as outdoors men and women, and our Christianity. So what we're doing is we're creating something, introducing something new and fresh to the outdoor industry, Bruce. And what we're going to do initially is start this off very slow and grow this brand with our partners, sponsors, on webisodes. Our mission is to launch this in January, and we're capturing all our footage, and we're going to do 26 episodes a year starting out, and we're excited about this.
Well, tell me about the format of the show, and then we're going to get into all four parts that you just talked about: heritage, family, our Constitution, culture, and faith. So how did this all get started?
Well, believe it or not, Bruce, I created Bloodline Outdoors in 2010 with another team, and I was an owner and host of it for approximately 6 years. And sometimes things just don't work out. I sold the business in 2014, and after my partnerships that I was in. And anyway, it didn't work out. But we continued to support Bloodline, even though I'm not the host, and we wish nothing but the best for Bloodline and its team members. So my daughter one morning goes, "Dad, I know you're wanting to do something else, but Dad, I've done some homework for you. I've done some research for you that stands for what you're about, Dad." And she goes, "I've come up with the name Roots." So she got on the internet and researched the name Roots. And Roots, if you look up the definition, it all goes back to many things, especially our families. Our whole focus is to promote family, a family, clean-oriented show and webisodes, and hopefully it touches families and motivate them to want to do more with their families. So, and encourage others to want to be good stewards of the land and conservationists, etc. That's the whole mission statement. So my daughter came up with a name, and we went on GoDaddy and searched the name American Roots Outdoors, and it was not protected. So we own those names .tv, .com, .org, .net. We own all of it. So we're launching this thing, and it's all about us. It's not about me, even though I'm the host and owner, even though I'm going to be promoting our partners and our teams. We've got 7 teams that we're creating across the nation. So it'll be 14 people. And all 14 of these people have stuck with me through the thick and thin, and when I've been in the valley, so to say, and they've showed their true integrity and friendship to me. And I also have 7 board members that are very successful business people that's involved in the outdoor industry that I go to for advice when I make decisions. So we have a total of 14 and 7 will be 21 members in our group.
Well, thanks for that. And what's the format of the show? If somebody clicks in, what are they going to see here? And what's it all about?
It's all about myself and our team members traveling the country, maybe in their hometowns, of hunting with their family members or friends or farmers, whoever it is, and you're going to get to see different cultures captured on film and lifestyles and techniques, and it's going to be a knowledgeable, entertaining episodes. So it's going to be something that everybody will not want to miss. And we have not got our website done yet. We're working on that. We got our website done. And the cool thing is, instead of going to a network initially with this, is that we all know that the future is in internet. If you have a smartphone, you can watch American Roots Outdoors TV in a tree stand wherever you want to. And when it's on a network, you've got to DVR it or wait for the show to come on. And right now, the big surge, and you're seeing the big rush is social media. So that's where the future of a lot of this is going, is social media, internet, etc. So especially this new young generation, and it's creating huge numbers of people that like to get involved in this internet.
And I'm proof of concept with that. You know my story and how we started. My first show was August 31st, and now I'm hitting 83,000 downloads. I've got over 30,000 people in social media, and it's all organic growth. It's guys like you saying, "Hey, check out Bruce at Whitetail Rendezvous. It's an informative show," and so forth. And it's really exciting. I'm 70 years old, Alex, and I'm passionate. When I get to look at my schedule for the day and say, hey, I got 4 shows today. I'm going to talk to 4 people throughout the country. And I'm paralleling this to what you're doing. You and your crew your team are going to go different places. You're going to see different people, learn different techniques, and just be part of the culture. But you're also going to get involved, keep your family involved, and talk about our faith and our Constitution, and all wrapped into one show. Now, how long are these shows going to be?
They're going to be anywhere from 8 minutes to 12 minutes long. Some could run longer. But, the cool thing, and I want to go back and touch on something, we're also going to capture stuff that hasn't been captured. It seems like the focus in the outdoor industry, especially in the whitetail world, is all about these 200-inch deer. Let me tell you, I'm the first one to tell you that I will kill every 200-inch deer that I can kill. Well, most of the blue-collar, hard-working people that only have weekends to hunt or their vacation days, they all want to shoot a 200-inch deer too, but we all need to face this. It's not reality. Not everybody can go out and kill a 200-inch deer every year unless you live in a state that has 200-inch whitetails on your property that you manage and you're wealthy. There's nothing wrong with being wealthy. But the reality is most of your blue-collar workers, common people that may have a small piece of property or hunts government land, a 130 class whitetail is a huge deer to them. And we want to commend those people that are doing this. And we're staying down to earth. Now, we're not against killing a 200-inch deer. I want to emphasize that. Or growing or managing a property for 200-inch deer, because we're going to be touching on that too. But the trophy is in the eyes of the beholder, Bruce. That's the deal. And the thing is, we want to motivate people and families to get outdoors with your family members and hunt. And don't feel bad if you shot a 140 or 150. I can't tell you how many conversations I've been in at sports shows, and watch some of the arrogance in some of these people. It's unbelievable. And we all need to get along as outdoors men and women in this industry. I want to forget one conversation I was in, And they said, you got any pictures of deer you killed last year? And I said, yeah, I got a 4.5, 5.5-year-old 140-inch 10-pointer I killed here. He said, we have them as 2-year-olds where I'm at. We don't shoot them. Then I get into a conversation with them, telling them that, hey, the trophy's in the eye of the beholder, and the 200-inch deer don't come very often where I'm at in South Central Missouri or Lower Alabama or Mississippi but again, we want to motivate people to try to grow big deer. But there's nothing wrong with shooting a 130, 140-inch deer. Don't feel belittled by that. What we're going to do is capture the story of the hunter and his relationship with that deer and tell the story. It's like a movie in a sense. I think people appreciate people that are down to earth and are telling the truth and seeing the struggles and reality of trying to harvest a big mature buck.
I couldn't agree more. And last Saturday, I had 2 people on the show that I've known. Jim Sure, I've known for over 50 years, and he was just a kid when I started hunting this same farm. And Garrett, his son, killed the first 180 buck we've ever taken off that farm. Now, Eddie, who owns the farm and farms it, took a 173 10 or 15 years ago. But we have seen, just because of good methods and practices, we are seeing bigger and bigger deer. A lot of reasons for that. But one thing, I'll just echo what Alex said, folks. It's your deer. It's your trophy. I don't care if it's a doe. I don't care if your son just shot his first spike buck or your daughter. It's your trophy. And Brent, we talked about Brendan Valentine in the beginning of the show. And she told me right on, when I started this thing, she said, Bruce, every single deer that's taken is a trophy. It's just, and she said, you live out west, Bruce, and tell me about all the elk you've killed. I said, I killed a lot of cow elk, and that's a trophy because they eat really good. Yeah, I've shot some nice
That's
bulls.
Right.
I've shot some nice bulls, but every single elk is a trophy because of the people I am with, the places that I'm hunting, and just the whole experience. And so many times, I don't mean to get off on this, but I'm going to rant a little bit. So many times we get wound up on 200-inch deer. I've seen 200-inch deer, both mule deer and whitetails. I've never shot one. Don't know if I will. But it's the hunt, it's the people, and I just love what you're doing with American Roots Outdoors, because it's the reality of, hey, folks, this is really what you can expect. And I know the shows, and you and I know, on the Outdoor Channel and Pursuit Channel, all that. That's great, and that's entertainment. But the reality of it is, and I'm sure you'd agree with me, let's make it real for these folks.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. Let's don't argue it with each other about somebody shooting a 130-inch deer. It's mature, and you're killing 200-inch deer every year. That doesn't make you better. You're just blessed to be able to be in the situation you're in. And that being said, I've got a guy sitting in my Chevy Silverado truck with me right now. We got you on speakerphone. He's one of our team members. He's been a true friend for many years. I've known this boy since he's 14 years old. He is a police officer, a deputy sheriff in Cheatham County, Tennessee. And this boy right here, you're 27? 29 years old, everybody. His name's Ben Moore. He is on Mossy Oak Pro Staff. He's on American Roots Outdoors. He's one of our brand development managers over Tennessee. And how many deer have you shot, Ben Moore, in Tennessee?
Oh, I've shot a lot. I've been really blessed to take several really good deer. I've got, 9 or 10 on the wall over 150. The last few years, I've really hunkered down and tried to manage my deer a little bit better than people that are around me, and it's paid off.
Share your thoughts, Ben, with our listeners, and Bruce, your thought process on American Roots and what it means to you to be a part of this, and the emphasis on shooting mature deer and the trophy in the eyes of the beholder.
Well, when I think of roots, I think back to my dad teaching me all about the outdoors, and it's put me where I'm at. We have to have a foundation. We have to start with a foundation, and that's where it's at, is your roots. We have to nourish those roots and keep them growing. And deer, I could shoot a 130-inch deer, 120-inch deer, and it would mean just as much to me as shooting a 200-inch.
If he's mature.
I've seen 5-year-olds with 110-inch racks before. Yeah. It's just a mature deer. That's what matters. People get caught up in this industry so much, like Alex said, shooting these 250-inch deer or 180-inch deer, and that's all they think is a trophy. That's not right.
Yeah. Well said. Well said.
I agree. It's Ben, right?
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
Ben Moore.
Yeah, Ben Moore, and Ben, as you heard Alex introduce him. So Ben, mature deer, and I hear more and more people are really looking at mature deer, and that's how we got the 180 off our farm, because about it was even longer than that ago, about 10 years ago, we said, okay, if after Thanksgiving, the kids can go out, whoever hasn't shot a deer, if it's a doe, whatever deer they want to shoot, go ahead and shoot. But the rest of us that are put some deer down on the ground, okay, we're gonna go back. If you see a deer and you say, that's a great deer, I'm going to shoot it, then go ahead and shoot it. But try to get the maturity to the 3.5 and work to the 4.5. And you can get your hunters on your land or your crew to take mature deer. It's amazing what's happened. So we're proof positive of that. Your thoughts, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, we agree. You're spot on with what we're trying to say here. However, again, we want to reiterate that we don't have a problem with a child shooting a spike buck or as long as, that's a trophy to that child, this first deer or whatever. We're about doing whatever that the landowner hunter wants to do. But however, we also want to educate and say, hey, if you want better numbers on your property and more bucks, you need to let these bucks walk also. So we're playing both sides of the fence here, but we're encouraging people to grow more mature bucks. And again, reiterating for the 5th or 6th time, trophies in the eyes of the beholder. It's about the storyline, the relationship of you and that buck, that certain buck. The trail cameras, when you go out and pull your camera cards and you capture these photos and you get drawn to this certain buck and you give him a name. We're all about that. And that's what we're going to show in our episodes. And again, we're not going to try to belittle. We will not belittle anybody for what they're doing. However, I want to emphasize this. If you want big mature bucks on your property, you cannot go in and shoot a bunch of small bucks. If you want to grow big bucks, you got to let them walk, like you said, Bruce, 3.5 plus, let them go older. And one thing we do on our properties and our management thought process is the same with an American Roots Outdoors. If you've got a 3.5-year-old 8-pointer and he's been an 8-pointer and you've watched him from his second year on, we'll take 8-pointers out at 3.5. We will a lot of times because that's all they're ever going to be. And I started doing that on my property several years ago, and I've got more 10 points than I've ever had in my life. So we're keeping that gene pool, the roots of that family gene or that certain 10-point gene going on our property.
Yeah, and when I talk to biologists and stuff, and they start talking about age class and age class recruitment, and they start, putting all the real factors underneath it. What I do is say, okay, if I let them go, they'll grow. And then what we do, if we got a really squirrely deer that's 3.5 years old, we'll just put him down because his horn, we just know he's not going to develop and this is the important thing, listeners, you're talking to guys today, both Alex and Ben, that are 365 hunters. And if you want to get after the mature bucks, that's what you got to be. And I've been doing this. This is show number 276, 83,000 downloads. And people are going after mature deer and they're becoming better stewards. And I'm going to switch it up right now because Alex and Ben are all about being stewards because we need to be stewards of our Constitution and stewards of our faith. So guys, jump into that a little bit right now.
Well, it's election time right now, and we vote here on November the 9th or 8th. I can't remember which day, but we all know, if you've been watching the news and you followed the candidates, that our constitutional rights are under attack, especially the Second Amendment and our the Christianity Amendment. We are under attack as Christians and American outdoors men and women and gun owners. Our Second Amendment says that we have the right to bear arms. And what's going to happen is if a certain individual is elected, they're going to change the Supreme Court judges. And they're going to elect Supreme Court judges that's going to go after your gun rights and your Christianity. And I'm a Christian. I'm proud to say I'm a Christian. Our whole team is, everybody that I've chose to be on this team. If you will watch what's going on in America, there's so many different religions going on and coming into our country. We are under attack. Liberalism is not good for America. We've got to protect that Constitution to keep America strong. And I want to ask all of our listeners, how many of you listeners remember as a kid growing up, especially if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, even 70s, what did you do on Sundays as a kid growing up? Well, you was taught about God, our Creator, and you was taught about family. The focus was on family. On Sundays, as a kid, Bruce, Ben, we would have family dinners. After church, we wanted to be together and spending time together with our roots. And it seems like the divorce rate is tremendous right now in America because of liberalism. You know, what happened to the values of a man and woman getting married and staying true and blue and working out their differences in their marriage? Think about that. So what's happening is with this divorce rate at a very high rate, you have a lot of women that's raising their children by themselves. That's where we come in too. We're going to take a lot of these kids hunting. We got a youth hunt coming up this weekend. My great niece, Addie Rutledge, on a deer hunt. She's 8 years old. She's a little blonde-headed, blue-eyed girl. Her mom, it's a sad story. Her mama was getting married to this man and she was pregnant and he got killed in an accident. So she's raising this daughter and her son. We got to be good stewards. We got to be models to show Jesus Christ's love in everything that we do in this world. We got to get our focus back to God, one God in America. And when we do that, you're going to see a greater atmosphere. You're going to see a greater America. Think about it when you vote this coming election. What's more important to you? Your money, your family, your Constitution. It all leads back to the Constitution. Once we protect that Constitution, everything that we care about is going to be protected.
Yeah, it's amazing. Over 200 years ago, our forefathers wrote that document. I mean, just if listeners, if you haven't thought about that, how do I want to say it? The God created, if I would say it that way, because those men had to take those words and that thoughts from someplace. It just didn't show up because there was no email. There was hardly any mail. Mail took days and days to get any place, and they created this document for us. So today, Alex and I and Ben can talk about the things we're talking about with free expression and freedom of speech.
Yes.
That's a constitutional right. And people are exerting that, pro and con, but they have a right to express themselves. Everybody does. And the thing is that Alex is working and working hard to bring his notoriety and if you will, his fame to the marketplace and saying, wait a minute, we're going to change this up and this is how we're going to do it. And we're going to visit with people and talk to them about all the things that matter. Yes, hunting is a big part of my life. Here I am, like I said, 70 years old, working every single week, 5 shows a week and talking about whitetail hunting. But the important thing is we build community and we build respect, character, integrity. Your thoughts, guys?
Spot on, Mr. Bruce. Spot on. That being said, I also want to say this. God loves all colors, red, white, blue, black, yellow. He loves everyone in the world. And what I have to say about that, I am open to anybody moving to America. You can bring your cultures with you, but you know what? Don't try to change us. Live as we live. Learn our language. And if I can learn yours, I will, but it's America. Stand up. Say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Believe in my God, our God that created the Constitution, helped create the Constitution. I'm not attacking or being negative in anyone, but think about it. In God's word, he tells us go into the world and minister. Why do you think so many people want to come to America? Because it's freedom. Because America is such a great country. Think about it. It's time that we get off our high hat and we all get out there and stand up for what's right. And I'm asking all the listeners to support American Roots Outdoors because this is our mission statement. We want to show love. We want everybody to love one another. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to preach a little bit. God loves the drinker. He loves the drunkard. He loves the thief. He loves the whoremonger. He loves the gays. That doesn't mean you're going to go to heaven. It's all about surrendering and giving it all to him. God is the final judge. That being said, what we're doing, we're showing love in American Roots Outdoors, but standing up for our rights. It's time that America wakes up, especially the outdoors men and women, and stand on the values that was handed to us by our forefathers and our Constitution and protect it.
An interesting thing, guys at QDMA, they send me information every once in a while. There's approximately 17 million plus or minus whitetail hunters just in the United States. That's not even Canada. And then when you think about that, and then you think of the $37 billion outdoor industry that's related just to, the outdoor recreational sports, hunting and fishing and such. And we are a big factor, but only if we make our voice heard, only if you go and vote. And so I'm not going to tell you how to vote, but I'm going to tell you, make sure you vote and become part of the process, not part of the Twitter people and they bashing this and bashing that and everything. And some of those people aren't going to vote. So I'll put a period on this part of the show and say, your responsibility as a citizen for the United States of America is to vote, period. Alex, your thought? Ben, your thoughts?
Well, I agree with you. There's two things that I've always said. You can't forget who you are and where you came from. And that's what America needs to remember, what they were founded on. And, as outdoorsmen, we can't forget that. We got to keep our faith close and our family close and our passions. We got to keep them alive. And we got to stand up for what's right and what we were given, so many years ago.
You're a police officer.
Yeah.
You've been in law enforcement how many years?
6 years.
Okay, and Ben and I was in a conversation last night over a nice dinner. We grilled some steaks last night, and we got to talking about our constitutional rights. And it's amazing how this conversation's got off on this, which is very important. Very important. Ben, you made a statement last night. If they come to take our guns, and I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but you're a police officer. I want you to tell everybody where you stand if they come in to take your guns.
As a police officer, I can tell you now, I wouldn't participate in taking people's guns from them. I think it would be nothing but a bloodbath, honestly. As a police officer, I feel the right that people should have something to protect themselves with and their family with. And, having somebody that you get in office and take that from us is not right. We have to stand up for it. And, people use weapons, for bad things. They also use them for good things too. So there's a negative and a positive to it. But it's not the gun that kills, it's the people. So, we have to be mindful of that.
Can I use an example of this, Ben and Bruce?
Yes, sir.
How many people's been killed with vehicles? How many people's been killed with a baseball bat?
Guns.
How many people's been killed? Yeah, airplanes.
How many people have been killed with illegal drugs?
Illegal drugs.
There you go.
Here's you one more. You're gonna love this, Bruce. Chicago, one of the largest cities in America.
Also, the toughest gun laws.
The toughest gun laws in America. Add to it, Ben.
And they have more gun violence than any city in the country.
So, to our liberals out there wanting to take our guns, how is that going to help make us safe by trying to take our guns?
It's not. It's going to make it worse.
It's going to make it worse because everybody's going to be outlaw and have these guns, and you're going to see more because what you're doing is you're weakening the people. If you take their guns, the people that would use it to protect themselves, the outlaws and hoodlums are still going to have the guns because they're going to find them. It's like the drug problem. Look at the drug problem we have in America. And I don't mean to get off on that, but they're not stopping drugs. No. Think about it.
Hey guys, let's switch this up now, and I'm just going to go break, and now we're going to spin it off to part 2, and we're going to talk about whitetails, if that's okay with you guys. Hey folks, if you enjoyed the first part of Alex Rutledge and Ben Moore, you're really going to enjoy a change of pace because we're going to talk about nothing but whitetail hunting. Hunting those whitetails, those wily bucks, the mature bucks that everybody wants to see, but they're just hard to pattern and hard to put down. So these guys are going to share some really top-notch secrets. And like Alex reminded me, hey, long-range scouting, he and I talked about that about 6 months ago. Enjoy the show.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, where you can listen and learn from the experts so you can be more successful on your next hunt. Until next time, listen, learn, and succeed.